Okay, so this is a very brief talk about how did I come across the 72-week cycle. It's 2001, and this is roughly the Dow Jones chart that I'm looking at the time. And I'm drawing lines like any good technical analyst. I'm drawing ratios from here to here and Fibonacci and extensions and la-di-da-di-da, and as we all do. And then it occurs to me that I should try and do something different. So I begin to measure the distance in time from highs to lows and lows to highs. I don't pay any attention to it immediately, but I observe that 72 weeks from this high to this high. So, okay. Then I carry on drawing, and I notice there's 72 weeks from this low to this low. Like, oh, well, that's a coincidence. 72 and 72. Then I notice that there's 72 weeks from this low to this high. Oh, that's strange. And I remember distinctly showing my compliance manager, because I was sat on the trading floor, and the compliance manager was a guy called Jeff. And I just, look at this, Jeff. And he said, oh, surely it must be a coincidence. I said, yeah, maybe it is. And I carried on, and so, okay, that's a lesser of a low there, but that's definitely a low. And then there's this high here, which was a double top down to the 9/11 low in September. And I thought, well, that's a lot of 72 weeks. Is that a coincidence? So I thought, okay, you know what? I'm gonna take a chance here and go. The next turn in the market, high or low, is gonna be approximately on the 10th of February 2002, because that's 72 weeks from this low here. So I went on TV. I think the market's gonna go up until about the 10th of February 2002. And when an analyst goes on TV and says something like that, people pay attention. That's why I wrote a guru is born, because the joke here is that you get this right once and you'll forever be a guru. And people didn't understand why I could come up with these dates, and I sure as hell didn't tell them. That was my secret. And then the market came up to that date and it turned. Right there. And I thought, wow. So now it became well, what's the next turn? Well, I think it's going to be 10th of October 2002, because that's the next high to low. And at this point, the traders at City Index began to pay attention to this, and we began to trade very actively at this bear market low in 2002. And the company made a lot of money from this move here. We traded it on using options on our own book, but it was very lucrative. And then I sort of carried on with that and I would begin to go on TV saying, yeah, I think the market is going to turn here, and it would be stupidly accurate. And then when I'm Bloomberg, I remember this because a lady called Sarah, and I said, I think the market's going to turn on the 17th of March 2004, and it did. Now you don't see the rest of the story here, but the Dow didn't supersede this high for the next 9 months. And so I made money from it. The company made money for it. Everyone was happy. But the really big call that I made was this baby here. And that was the high in 2007. And the market turned. It was 72 weeks. But the one that made me personally very wealthy was this call here. Because down here, I bought ETFs, free X ETFs. And I rode this for a long time. And it made me very wealthy. And that was 72 weeks from high to low during the financial crisis. To the week. But the really big call that I made was this one here, this high here to this high here. At the time, I didn't know it was going to be COVID. And then I go into some slides of how I, on the 25th of February, I had 700,000 Danish. And 2 days later, on the 27th, I had 7 million. So anyway, that's the story of the 72-week cycle.